Yo, Edgar, what's going on, man?
What's up, buddy? How's everything, man?
Good, 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 man. It's been a long time, man. I'm gonna get into that a little bit because I talked to you some years ago, and so
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna circle back on that. I'm gonna get right into it. As people, like most of us, evolve, right? Year after year. In 2026, who is Edgar Berlanga, the person?
Edgar Berlanga, the person is humble, um, driven, you know what I'm saying? Disciplined, you know what I mean? And just a different animal now. I feel like right now I'm in a space where I want to just be I'm in a place right now where I want to be in a better space for people, you know what I'm saying? I wanna achieve a lot of my goals that I got on my mind, you know what I'm saying? And now I just signed this deal with Dana White, Zoo for boxing. I wanna become a world champ. I wanna continue to make my success in boxing. Um and make hit records, you know what I'm saying, with the music. I think right now is my time, and I'm just right now I'm just a different person. I'm locked in on everything that I've got going on, like never before. Um and I'm humbly doing it, you know what I'm saying? I'm just putting my head down, you know what I mean? Just staying disciplined, working hard, and looking forward to the future.
Yeah, and I ask you that because I think sometimes people kind of get things confused. They see folks in the public eye and they think that everything that they see, that's what it is. And sometimes like I want to speak to somebody one on one and really get like what's on their mind because you don't get that, sometimes. And so
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. And like, a lot of people just there's a lot of haters, you know what I'm saying? People that talk bad about me, or oh, this guy's this. They don't know me. So they could just stay on that side. You know what I mean? They don't gotta get to know me. If they want to hate on me, they could just stay afar from hating. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what makes you more popping. That's what makes you more famous. You know what I'm saying? More lit. When you got people that hate on you. Because they want you to lose. They always behind you, watching every move because they want to see you fail. You know what I mean? And I turn to the I got God on my side. And listen, at the end of the day, I know my heart. I know I got a good heart. That's all that matters. And I know there's thousands and millions of people out there that love me. You know what I mean? That's what that matters.
That's what's up. And listen, one of the topics that I want to talk about today, to me, is one of the most important is you being a board member of the Cristian Rivera Foundation, right? A nonprofit dedicated to finding a cure for DIPG, which is diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, I think it is, a rare and aggressive pediatric brain tumor. What was it about the foundation that made you want to get involved and become a board member?
So first and foremost, when I was a newborn, I had a brain problem when I was like 2 weeks old. I was in an incubator and stuff. I was in a NICU for about a month. I was catching seizures, you know what I mean? And then fast forward, my son, he was 2 days old. My son almost died. His pituitary gland, he didn't grow his pituitary gland, so he was catching seizures and stuff. And he was in the NICU for a month. That something had to do with the brain. And then John Rivera, the CEO, was like, he introduced me to this young girl that I knew from the amateur. Her name is Jessica Silva. May her rest in peace. She just passed away recently from DIPG, and she was a young champion. She was a two-time Olympic gold, junior Olympic gold medalist champion. She won not a lot of national tournaments. She was Puerto Rican, and I was a fan, and I didn't know that she was suffering from cancer and stuff, and it was like the IPG, and I didn't know that she was with the foundation. And my dad and John Rivera was like longtime friends from the '90s and stuff. John Rivera was like the biggest like promoter for clubs and everything in New York City. So him and my dad went way back, and everything, everything just aligned perfect. And when I found that out with Justin and then my son and me, just the whole thing just made sense. And I was like, yo, I wanna become a board member, you know what I'm saying? And at the time I wasn't a board member, but I was giving a lot of money, not a lot of money. I was just giving money out, what I'm saying, to the foundation. I was contributing, you know what I'm saying? I was showing up. I was at the galas, I was doing a lot of things, great things for the foundation. And alongside with Tristan Thomas, Malik Yoba, Darlene Rodriguez, Luis Guzman, the actor, and then they wound up all sitting down because they're all board members of the Cristian Rivera Foundation, and they sat down and they voted me in. You know what I'm saying? They wanted me to be a part of them, and I was down for it, and I'm here now.
That's what's up, man. And regarding awareness, what message do you want to get out there about the work being done for those kids that have that rare health issue?
Yeah, it's a rare health issue, and the doctors, the foundation, John, we working hard, to find that cure for them. You know what I'm saying? Because these kids are dying, and we haven't found a cure yet for them, but we're searching for it. The foundation is going as hard as they can, you know what I'm saying, to find that cure because, these kids got to stay alive.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's turn it into in a positive direction. April 10th, you released a single titled "Baby Mama," right?
Yeah.
Why did you feel the need to get into music at this point of your career?
Um, I always liked music, you know what I'm saying? I was making music since 2021 when nobody knew. And I made like four songs and I never pushed it out or nothing. I did a whole music video in 2022 in New York, and I was gonna put that out, but I wasn't really I was really leaning on towards like, oh, like the people's gonna, criticize me, you know what I'm saying? I already get a lot of hate. I'm gonna get more hate. So I was more worried about what the people was thinking about me and, you know, their opinions about me. So I always held it, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't really wanted like I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna drop this because people's gonna look at me different. I feel like brands and anybody I want to sponsor me is gonna look at me different. Like, yeah, I'm gonna look lost. This I was just worried about what people thought and what people think of me, and I just held it. I wasn't really. I was still making music and stuff, but I'll just do it on the low. And then fast forward to now to February. Um, I don't know. I was just fed up. I was like, you know what? Like from my last fight, what happened? I seen everybody turn their back on me. I seen how much haters I had. And I just got tired of it. I was like, yo, look how everybody just turned their back on me. Look how everybody just try to use me as a meme on social media. You know what I'm saying? And I got to the point that I was like, f what people got to say about me. When you're doing good, they're gonna talk. When you're doing bad, they're gonna talk. So they're gonna talk regardless. You know what I'm saying? The more great I get, the more they're gonna talk. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just do me. And one day I woke up and I felt the need to go to the studio. I was like, I gotta go to the studio today. I don't know, someone was telling me, and then I found the baby mama beat that I use for baby mama. I found that beat on YouTube, and I knew it was good. The beat was just so crazy, and I was like, damn, this beat is fire. And I called my boy. I was like, yo, let's go to the studio. And this is out here in Florida, and he was like, for real? It was like 11 o'clock at night. And when we cooked up baby mama, but I only cooked up the first verse. I didn't cook up the whole song. Now, when I cooked up the first verse, it sounded crazy. I was in the studio like, oh my God, yo, this shit is fire. And then I wound up posting up the snippet on Instagram, and it caught a lot of views in less than 10 minutes. It was a lot of views, bro, and I started shaking. I was like, my body was trembling, and I was like, yo, I think I got one. I think I got one. I was like, yo, I got a hit, bro. I got a hit. And I was telling my boy, I'm like, yo, I got a hit. He was like, I know you got one. I said, yo, bro, we gotta finish this song, bro. It was a hit. I'm like, yo, bro, this shit is a hit. 100% is a hit. And then I kept throwing up, and then we finally finished the song, and I just kept throwing up snippets of the record, snippets in the car here. And then I had I had Jose Alvarado from the Knicks. I posted him up singing a song with me on Instagram, and it caught over a million views, and just people was just vibing to the song, and it was like, yo, when you gonna drop it? I didn't drop it yet. You know what I'm saying? I didn't drop it for like a month. I just kept playing it on social media, and everybody was just. And then when I dropped it, boom! Now this shit's going crazy. You know what I mean? 1 RPM. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Ray. Shout out to my brother Ray. He's a top A&R for 1 RPM, and he's one of the guys that believed in us. You know what I'm saying? And brought us under the wing and was like, "Yo, I know you're a boxer. I know this and that, and the third, but we gonna I'm gonna go and you can hear me."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
yeah,
know
they
you're
was like,
getting a
yo,
lot of calls in.
I believe in. There was like, yo, I believe in the movement. I believe in your vision. You know what I'm saying? And these people are crazy, bro.
Yeah,
You get me?
yeah, yeah,
You get me?
yeah, yeah.
You get me? Yeah. So then he just believed in the movie, you know what I mean? And from there, it's just like I did the music video already. The music video gonna drop soon. Yeah, it's going good, man. You know, just people don't believe in the vision. They don't believe in it until they see it getting done, and then they want to jump on board and start. Because people thought I was crazy. You know what I mean? People thought I was bugged out. Like, yo, this dude like is crazy. He's trying to be a rapper. He's trying to be a singer, a reggaetonero. And I was like, I don't give a F what y'all think, bro. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. But when it's done, y'all gonna respect me. And that's exactly what's happening now. Everybody that was like doubting me and making it seem like, oh, I'm crazy or this guy's bugged out or he's had CT, what's that CTE from
CT.
getting punched out in the head. You know, now they're not saying it's not CTE no more. Now they're like, yo, this dude's really crazy. He's doing it. You know, and I'm just really like just putting out there, just for the kids, especially the youth, man. I say the youth because I was young at one point and I thought and I always felt like I was scared because of what people would think of me and all this nonsense. But I want to be one of the first prime examples of don't worry. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to do anything you want in life, don't worry about what anybody has to say. Don't worry about what your mother has to say, what your father has to say, what your family, what the haters on social media have to say. If you feel like in your heart you want to be something and you want to do it and you want to, if you're boxing or if you're playing basketball, you want to be you want to do NASCAR drive, you could do anything. You know what I'm saying? God just didn't give us talent to be one thing. And like, I feel like God, we're blessed. You know what I'm saying? To really be something great. I feel like I'm blessed to be something greater than what I am right now. You know, I don't think that boxing is it's just my only thing that I'm gonna be great at. You know what I mean? I feel like the music, I feel like acting, I feel like there's a whole bunch of things, And if I have that talent, if God bless me that much, I'm gonna use it. You know what I'm saying? Why I'm gonna stay stuck in somewhere where I'm talented. Like a lot of people's not talented the way I am, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna waste that. I'm not wasting my talent on nothing in the world. If I have it, if I have the pinta, how they say, like, yo, this dude could be an actor, yo, this dude could be a artist, a Spanish artist, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? There's no limit. You know what I'm saying? You're not stopping me over here. I'm gonna keep going and going and going until I can't no more.
Yeah, that's what's up. And it's funny because like if you play that song and you don't say your name is associated with it, anybody will listen to it and they'll be vibing to it, right? But the minute you say, "Oh, this is Edgar Berlanga song," they're like, "Ah."
Yeah, this dude's crazy. But listen, man, Fat Joe co-signed it. I just posted up on social media. You seen Rick Ross was jamming to it in the club. DJ Khaled co-signed the song. You got the biggest in the game co-signing the song. You know what I'm saying? And these are my family. So if Joe's co-signing it, you see Ross, you see DJ Khaled. You know what I mean? And the remix, we gonna drop the remix pretty soon. Well, I'm not gonna drop it soon, but I'm starting to get it. We starting
Yeah, yeah.
marinating it. You know what I mean, with the remix and everything. So yeah, it's gonna be for sure. So it's gonna be a summer hit.
That's what's up. All right, listen, getting into boxing, right? I do a show with and you know him, Zachary Ochoa,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, listen, ask Edgar about this. You were a decorated amateur. How did that help with your transition into the pros?" He was mostly asking because you grew from one size to another pause, right? And you're a big guy now, and so like I guess he remembered you as somebody much smaller, and then once went to the pros, you grew into your size. So basically, how did the amateur experience help you with that transition?
Just letting myself grow. I stopped. As amateurs, we tend to want to be at a certain weight class for so many years because we don't want to go up in weight because we're gonna fight big opponents and stuff. But when my dad came home from doing his second bid, I was stuck at a certain weight class at 132, and I was stunting my growth. I felt like, you know what I mean? Like I was struggling to stay on 132, 132. I was killing myself, and when my dad came home, I took off like 4 months, and I just like was just living like a regular life as a kid. I took 4 months to myself. I was just playing basketball and I blew up. Like that's when I grew and I went from 132 to 154 pounds in 4 months, you know what I'm saying? And I still stuck there. And then I fought at that weight for a while and then I jumped up to 165, then I jumped up to 178, you know what I mean? I never stopped myself from growing. You know what I mean? And that's all it really was. And then, I feel like with boxers and amateurs, I recommend, that these kids, that they're growing quick. You don't want to stunt their growth or anything or try to make them making weight and stuff. You know what I mean? If they're gonna keep growing, they're gonna keep growing. Let them grow. And that's what exactly what my dad did. That's why I feel like I got so much bigger. You know what I
Y-
mean? And obviously now I'm fighting 168, but I walk around 200. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I'm a big boy. You know what I mean? So, but it's just being disciplined. You know what I mean? I'm now the pros is different. So now I can't walk around like as I used to do before 200. I try to stay like at the 180s. You know what I mean? So where when I'm dropping that weight, it could be easier for me.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And look, speaking things into existence, right? I interviewed you in August 2020. At that time, you told me you could see yourself fighting Canelo in 2 years. You told me that at that time, right?
Right.
You were 14-0. You ended up fighting him 4 years later, but still, like you manifested it. Even though, you end up coming up short against Canelo, looking back, was that 2 year window a little too ambitious? Or did you think that you would have done better if you would have gotten them sooner?
Nah, it was I was good. You know what I mean? I was destined for that fight. You know what I'm saying? That fight was supposed to happen. You gotta understand, I didn't have the experience, I didn't have anything. For me to be up there with him. People thought that he was gonna stop me in 2, 3 rounds. He didn't want to be in one of the best fights people attended. You know what I'm saying? They was comparing it to the most greatest legendary fights you could think of. You know what I mean? And that's the type of fight we brought. So I really, I take my hat off to myself and I pat myself on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Because from going from middle school to college to going into I went from a public middle school to going into Harvard college. You know what I'm saying? Is different. You feel me? And then I did very well. So I don't take nothing away. You know what I mean? I really want my rematch first. I want my rematch with this man I lost my last fight, and then I wanna get back with Canelo. If he's still around.
Yeah, yeah. And look, you fought Jonathan Ortiz after that. You won. Obviously, the Hamza Shiraz fight was in July. In that time away from your last fight to now, was there anything that you learned about yourself as you focused on you more?
Yeah, I had to refine myself again. I had to regain focus. I had to find the love for boxing over again. You know what I mean? I understood that, they love you, and then they hate you, and then they love you again, you know what I mean? And right now they hate me. But after July, when we fight, you know what I'm saying? In summertime, my fight that I'm gonna come back, my comeback fight, they gonna love me again. You know what I'm saying? They still love me. You know what I mean? You see, I just dropped the hottest record right now. We about to blow up. They sick. They tired of me, man. They don't understand like how this kid does this. He just came off a loss, and he just goes to go and make a song, and he's making a hit record. And he just signed one of the biggest contracts with Zuffa Boxing about the main event again in his city at Madison Square Garden. They don't understand it, but it's always when you're anointed by the Lord, when you God's children, when you God's favorite, when you God's child, nothing can stop you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proof, and I'm living proof that through trials and my tribulations and through losses and everything, I still stood tall, 10 feet on the floor. And I walk around. I go to fights. I still walk around with all my chains on. I still smile at the people, take pictures with the kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. You know what I mean? That didn't make me or break me. You know what I'm saying? That last fight. You know what I mean? That just son of happy. You know what I'm saying? Is a bump in the road. You don't hear him talking about that, man. Nobody
Yeah.
even knows that he's fighting him in this week or in the next couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares about him. They care about Berlanga. They want to know when Berlanga's fighting. They want that, but they love that Berlanga effect. You know what I'm saying? They want to get into fight week and they want to feel that energy again. So that's all that matters. Is that people are gonna talk, people are gonna hate. Like I said, they love you, then they hate you, but they gonna love me again.
Yeah. And you signed with Zuffa. That was a really big deal. What was it about Zuffa that made you want to go over there?
I just love their organization. I love that, Dana, how he is with his marketing. He's a marketing genius. He likes to build up his fighters. You know what I mean, and make them into superstars. You know what I mean. And he's good at that. I attended this last UFC event at the Kia Center, and then in Miami, and it was amazing. The structure and everything that they had, and I was just like, yeah, this is what boxing needs. Boxing needs structure. That's the reason why we don't have big sponsorships and a lot of big companies behind us is because there's no structure. Everybody's in it for themselves. You know what I mean? Promoters is in it to try to get as much money as possible for their pocket, so they can make more money than the fighters. It's just a lot of bullshit, you know. And then they're not even focusing on building a fighter up into a superstar. You know what I'm saying? And they're not worried about. They just worried about themselves, you know. And with Dana, I feel like through the UFC, you know, through the UFC hasn't been around as long as boxing, but UFC is growing so fast, and that's because of the marketing. That's because of the hype. That's because of what Dean is doing with this with you know with combat sports with the UFC. He's just building it up to a whole nother how can I say it, he's building it up to like a whole nother, I don't know, like a,
It's like a whole nother level, I guess. I
yeah,
mean,
a whole nother level. Like he's just building it up into something different. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I respect it, and I feel like I have faith in him. I think that he's gonna do the same thing with boxing. You know, I think I started a trend with Zuffa. I feel like now all the big athletes are gonna want to sign with Zuffa. And as soon as they see the outcome of my next fight that's about to happen this summer, a lot of big fighters gonna be running to Zuffa wanting to get signed. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Well, I'm a trendsetter, so I know that they see Berlanga signing with somebody, they gonna go. There's something. You get me? Yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
something that why Berlanga's signing with these people. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sign with just regular Joe Smokes. You know, we're gonna sign with somebody that's heavy hitters. You know, we going in. You know, you gotta understand. Dana has control of the WWE. Paramount. We with Paramount. Paramount has just bought the. You know, I want to get into movies, so Paramount's like running the movie industry thing. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Have a whole bunch of movies coming out. The UFC, the WWE, you wrap all of that around with boxing, bro, is next level.
Yeah, and I tell people, listen, there's nothing like summer in New York City, and I know you
Especially when
hit,
Berlanga's fighting.
and I know you hinted at a fight in the summer. Is it July that you guys are aiming at, or
Yeah, yeah, for July. Yeah, I'm aiming for July. And we're gonna it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? I
okay?
know the fans are gonna be excited. You know what I'm saying? I just dropped the hottest record. You know what I'm saying? The hottest record of the summer that's about to mess the streets up and the whole New York. And then I'm coming back fighting, you know, at the Garden. It's gonna be something different.
Yeah. So Masquerade Garden, is that where you guys are looking at?
That's what we're looking at here. I mean, that's what I want to. You know, that's my home. I love the Garden. You know, so God willing, we could lock in that date. You know what I'm saying? Whatever date in July, and you know, we make it happen.
Yeah, and that would be good timing too, because Fanatics Fest is in July in New York and all that.
Yeah,
So
a lot of things is going on. You know, the FIFA World Cup
FIFA,
too,
yeah.
is in Jersey. So, you know, there's a lot of big things that's gonna be happening in New York, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right. Now, ultimately, you're 28, still young in the game. What are some things that are still on your list to achieve aside from boxing, aside from music? What are some of the things that you still want to accomplish?
I just want to become a world champ. I want to get that belt. I want to become a world champ. I want to fight Chris Eubank. I want to get my rematch with Shiraz, and I want to get my rematch with Canelo.
Okay. Now, with the Zuva signing, there's always those conversations about the sanction organizations and not messing with them, messing with them. What has Dana White told you about that as far as becoming a world champion and being able to fight for those titles?
What's that again? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So you know how there's been confusion on Zuffa saying that they were going to fight for world titles. Their fighters were going to fight for world titles. Then they said they weren't. And then there was like the whole thing with the IBF. What did they tell you specifically about you wanting to fight for those titles?
Um, Now we doing regular boxing thing. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be fighting for the WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're not in like the Zuffa League thing. You know what I mean? It's totally separate what we got going on.
Okay. All right. And then and this is gonna sound funny, but this is a legit question. Whether fans love you or hate you, why should they keep watching?
Cause I'm a superstar. You know what I mean? I'm a superstar. I'm a guy that I'm a must watch guy. You know what I'm saying? And the way I walk, people hate me, they love me, they don't like that I wear chains, so they watch me to lose. And you got people that love me because I got the chain ons, I got the swag. You know, I'm from New York, and I'm an action-packed fighter. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to fight. They know when I fight, I'm coming to fight. They know I'm coming with a show. They know they know I'm a step in there. I'm gonna entertain them. You know, press conference weekends, fight week. You know, they know that the stars come outside when I fight. You know what I mean? You'll see Fat Joe, you'll see Mike Towers, you'll see one of these guys, these high level profile celebrities sitting at my fight, watching me fight. You know. And when I fight, it's like a concert. You know what I mean? I want everybody fly. Everybody put on, the girls gonna put on their best heels. They wear their best bags. The guys gonna wear their best chains. You know what I'm saying? Their best watches, and they gonna go and show out. You know, and that's the type of vibe I bring. And you know, but like I said, whether you hate or love it, you gotta respect me.
Yeah, no doubt. And lastly, when should fans expect the news on your next fight and all the details around it?
Yeah. Probably like in 2 weeks. I'll say. You know, right now we in the talks right now with a lot of things. You know. But yeah, in the next like probably 2 weeks, we should have a confirmation on the exact fight date and releasing it.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Edgar, I appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck with everything in the future.
Thank you, brother. I
Uh,
appreciate it.
and I look forward to speaking to you again in the future.
Thank you, brother.
All right. You take care of yourself.
I appreciate it.
All right.